I'll need to be a bit close to you. Is that okay?
Yeah, fine. Yeah. Are you here? You're not over there.
No, I'm here. Yeah,
Oh,
we
okay.
have a proper chat.
Oh, right. Okay, don't fall over.
Yeah, potentially breaking some health and safety rules, but
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll be fine.
Yeah.
So, thanks for turning on the good weather.
This is Taihape,
Yeah, is it?
the northern ward, closest to the sun.
Well, I suppose that is true. Yeah, it's more angling upwards.
It is, yes. But no, it's. I think you brought it here, Ben. So we hadn't had much of a summer, so we hope that we'll have a nice gradual ease into winter.
What does it get up here like for winter? Is it pretty cold?
We have frost, not as bad as when I was a kid. We used to jump into ice puddles.
Yeah.
So it's cold enough. We get weeks, sometimes a week or more of frost. Because of the altitude, we don't have the balmy evenings like Martin or close to Wongi or Palmerston.
Yeah.
But we have nice days. It makes up for it. So yes, enough of the weather.
No, you were saying there before, like, you used to jump in nice puddles as a kid. So born and raised in Taihape?
Yes, born and raised here. School over there. The reason I chose this is because sitting in the grandstand, we came here for school sports, for school prize givings. And sitting here looking out over the bush, you can almost convince yourself that we're surrounded by bush until you see all the land cleared behind it,
yeah.
which is the economic reason why New Zealand has had such a successful past,
yeah.
because of the cleared land for farming. But yes, it's hard to imagine the only 3 generations ago the amount of work that people did with using basic tools clearing that land.
Yeah,
would have been very, very difficult back in the 70, 80 years ago.
Yeah, I remember seeing a map of New Zealand, prior to sort of colonisation and like the vast areas of bushland that was there and how like it's been reduced down. So
very much so.
So I imagine Taihape looked quite different back in the day.
Yeah, it would have, I imagine, yes. If you take a flight over here, which you should do, you'd from down this area, it looks really, really bushy, but once you get in the air, you'll see how much land was cleared. Again, the farming being the economic backbone of this area of Rangitikei.
You asked us before if we could turn the cameras around to face towards the field, so I guess there's a bit of significance. So, like, did you play for one?
Oh no, school teams we played a bit out here, but we played here. We played out here every playtime, lunchtime. Played soccer, played rugby over there. Swimming pool wasn't covered back in the old days, so you jump in the pool and then lie in the sun until you warmed up, and that was great.
Yeah.
So the grandstand is it brings back a lot of memories to a lot of local people. It's probably not economically an easy thing to do, but hopefully with help of fundraisers and a lot of work of the local community groups, we can bring it back to some semblance of former self.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
do you have favourite memories of watching stuff from here, or?
Oh, it's just been part of our lives. It was here. It was always in the background. It's I assume, as a kid, I assumed that every town had something like this, but now we find that there's only very few of these old wooden grandstands left in New Zealand, which is quite sad.
Yeah.
That applies to Taihape, perhaps to the towns in Rangitikei. We cling to the heritage part, even though it's only perhaps 100 years of heritage. And there's some forms of nostalgia that we cling to because we seem to like it. And if it's possible, we should promote it, because otherwise we get very bland towns and cities. I'm not against progress, new designs, even the iconic landmark buildings we have now were new cutting edge designs at some stage.
Yeah.
So to want to live in the past isn't totally realistic. So there's a balance between the past and the future. So and council only plays a very small part of that, but it does play a part.
Definitely.
As does the community.
Yeah. So, what's your background in terms of your employment? So, I understand you did a bit of teaching for a while.
Yes, I taught here. I'm not a teacher by training, but I did a science degree at Massey. Worked as an engineer in the car manufacturing business when we had factories in Auckland.
Yep.
And our family had my grandfather come out here in the 1920s and opened bought a fruit store, greengrocers, and my father came out in the late 30s or early 40s, 1940 around there, when the Japanese invaded China. And then he bought a 4-square store in town, which I worked at for 30-something years.
Yeah.
And during that time, I did some teaching at the local school because having a science background, maths teachers and some sciences teachers are hard to find sometimes.
I was going to say that's a very handy degree because you can sort of veer off into teaching or you can veer off into tutoring.
Well, teaching and tutoring is very different.
Yeah.
To know more than the kids is one thing, but to try and get it across and to motivate kids, it's a very, very good skill to have for those who have it. I only possess a touch of it, and I don't think I could have cut it as a full-time teacher.
Yeah, a lot of patience you have to have.
Oh yes, it's a mindset, and I take my hat off to especially the teachers that took me to where I was, and to all the teachers out there now who the unsung heroes of that generation, I guess.
Yeah. So your family moved here, like, was it as part of the Japanese invasion of China? Like, did they move to New Zealand?
Well,
after
that was my father. My grandfather came out to New Zealand in the 20s. A lot of times I've spoken in schools to classes about my heritage here, and I draw a parallel between a lot of the local people here in Taihape who have gone to Western Australia to look for a better life because of the economic possibilities, opportunities over, and the Chinese were the same. A lot of the immigrants were the same coming to New Zealand looking for economic opportunities. And my grandfather, that whole generation, didn't want to come here and live. They wanted to come here, make their money, and then go back home with a fortune or whatever they can make.
Yeah.
And that applies to a lot of the Kiwis that go to Western Australia. They want to go there, make money and come back here. But for different reasons, quite often they end up over there, or their children like it better over there. And in our family's case, Japanese invaded China, and then the communists invaded the Civil War. And so China was in turmoil for quite a while, hence why a lot of the Chinese came out to New Zealand.
Yeah.
And so I was born here, and I don't really know any different. It's been a really, really nice place to grow up in. Hence why I'm council. I think you're paying back or whatever. It's a two-way thing. I'm part of this community. It's been good to me. Hopefully I'm being good to the community, and it passes the day.
Yeah.
I meet people like you and all the people I meet, both in Martin, Bulls and in Taihape, who I've known, some of them for many generations, and some before I was around.
Yeah.
So that's sort of how far the roots go back.
Yeah. And so you were saying before that, like, you worked in the automobile industry for a bit, and that was up in Auckland.
In Auckland, yes.
So what pulled you back to that?
My father, he wanted to retire. He had enough of working, so he said, my brother was here, and he said he really he had enough, and there's GST came out. And he was just like, that's the last straw. I don't want to do that. so
Not another bloody tax.
And at that age, I thought, GSC, there's nothing to it. But then by the time they raised GSC 2 or 3 times, and other things happened, I was at that point when we sold the business a few years back, and I felt I know how he felt. You get to the point where you've done so many things so many times, you don't want to do it again. Yeah. It's time to move on, for better or for worse. Everything changes whether you like it or not. Yeah. And you change with it, or it changes anyway.
You mentioned your brother there. Is he the owner of the New World in town?
No, it's my cousin.
Sorry.
Yeah, my cousin sold it. He opened it, and then his brother opened the one in Palmerston North.
So how many Wongs are actually here in Taihape or in the district?
Well, my father and his brother came out here in 1940, I think, and so both of them had families here, and hence we. They then their kids, and there was another family of Wongs that were out in Utuku, and they had cousins in Taihape, and that's the Wong Nam family. Yeah. So there was sort of two distinct families, and then our one branched into 2 distinct families as well. So, but yeah, most of them have gone now, isn't he? Or my brother's daughter's here and her kids.
Yeah.
So there's some next generation ones, but they're not Wongs as such.
Oh, okay.
So
But
they're here.
They'll stick to the
Oh, who
area, or
knows?
they'll move on.
Who knows the attraction of the city and things versus, but
Yeah.
you can never tell.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously been in Taihape for a long time. What is it that's kind of kept you here, other than having a business to take over and like the character of the town? What is it that's?
Oh,
kept you?
I do like the town. I walk downtown and I feel comfortable there. A lot of people know me. My mother still lives here, who's 93 or 94 now, so I'm her primary caregiver as such. So I can't really leave on that reason. And also, unfortunately, the economy as such, you cannot sell a house in Taihape and shift to many other places.
Yep.
Not that so the grass is always greener. I had friends in Auckland, but they've all shifted on. So it's over the years, everything's dissipated. So there's no one place that's calling up to me to go. But it's a good place to be. There are times when it'd be nice to be in a city where there's more lights, more choice of restaurants, and closer to shows and airports and things. But
Yeah.
we're not that far from Palmerston North or Wellington or really Auckland if you need to go those places.
Yeah. No, it's easy because you are on a main highway, the state highway, obviously. So
Yes, cars. Yes.
I was going to say the question I had, obviously you're in council, but what's some of the other things that you do? So I know that you're a justice of the peace as well.
Yes, I am. I am the Justice of the Peace. I'm the chairman, president of the local Northern Rangitikei Waimarino branch. I'm doing a stint as the president in the Whanganui JP branch, which has been brought a lot of challenges. As I'm not from Whanganui, that's been quite interesting. The drama club here, I was the treasurer and I'm on the committee.
Oh, so you're into drama? Or?
Well, we have lots of drama. Have you not noticed? But we staged Mamma Mia half a dozen years ago.
Yeah.
But then the town hall's been closed since then. So we're trying to put on a small show at the moment. So we're looking at a show. Maybe only 10 or dozen in the cast.
So is your involvement in that purely behind the scenes, or do you get on stage?
No,
yourself?
I've been in all the musicals.
Oh yeah.
I've been in the usually in the back. I used to have maybe one or two lines, but no, I didn't. But I've been in a couple of comedies, and I had major parts in those. The first one was as a Chinese waiter, hence why I was typecast.
What's the qualifications for this role?
yeah. So that was for auditions. I didn't really have to do much for that one. And that's how. And all the people in it, most of the people in the plays I knew anyway.
Yeah.
And and then the car club, the local car club, is in the throes of helping organise the Tamanui rally.
Yes. Yeah.
And so that's the irons are hot on that, and so between those drama club, car club, the JPs and council, and I'm maybe talking to the principal at TAS to do some teaching again. I'll just see what they need.
Oh, okay.
So I don't want to commit myself to too many things because then you don't do justice to any of them.
Yeah.
So I have to be careful.
Struggle to have time for anything else.
Well, if I did them more properly, I would do. Yeah, but that could be debatable.
Yeah.
There are times when really you should do more than one thing and others suffer. So
I know the other thing that you do is the Hautapu River Parks. You're involved, or we're involved with that.
I am, but not to the same extent that past Councillor Jill Duncan was the main. And we had from the accountants, Matt Thomas, who's behind the scene, has done a lot of work, and then we have a whole lot of other volunteers who have done a lot of work in that area. That's a great feature for Taihape.
Yeah.
And along with the Tutanui Reserve Walk in Martin, it's really brought, I think, Rangitikei on the map as far as an attraction for walking, cycling. And being on the main road or State Highway 1 or near State Highway 1, it's just given extra reasons for people to come to our district.
Yeah. So do you think that, like, because you are in a smaller community, that's part of the reason why you throw yourself into so many things? Because, you know, there's maybe not the same resourcing that other places have, but also, you know, there's maybe theoretically less for people to do, so you just want to throw yourself at everything?
It's an interesting question. Perhaps I look at it as in, if I was living in Auckland, the chances of me having main part in one of those comedies is probably pretty small, or being in the entourage of a musical like Mamma Mia, because my singing and dancing don't really rate very high on the scheme of things. Our director said, during audition, said, I can teach anybody to sing and dance, but she said, but with you, I don't have enough time. So I take that what that means. And so the small town has its advantages. There's more opportunities in some areas, and perhaps less in others. But you have to make the opportunities. You have to take the bull by the horns as such. There's no one answer. Taihape has advantages, some if you contribute to it, you can. Some things we'll never have because just don't have the size or enough talent. Otherwise so you just make the most of there are advantages to the size.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. In terms of your sort of background here, so like, might be a personal question. Are you married or?
No, I'm not really the marriable type.
Okay.
For some reason, you can probably get a psychiatrist a whole fortune or psychologist or counselor. No, it wasn't one of the areas that I was very good at, or wasn't a goal in life.
Yeah.
To be a family man, but I have nieces and nephews who sort of keep me poor, and so it will do. And I think once you get to a certain time in life, things have moved on.
Yeah.
So
it's always good when you can hand kids back.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, but I mean, there are some reasons as to yes, your own ones. I guess is better, but it's one of those things.
With your background in terms of like your family being from China and stuff, so have you retained much of the culture from your childhood?
My mother still speaks largely Cantonese, but it's a 1950s village version, so it's not really that transferable to modern life. I did do a couple of trips back to China when I was younger, and perhaps thought I should have gone back when I was growing up and would have gotten more culture of Chinese culture, but China's changed so much since she was there. It's totally alien. The culture's changed significantly. It's a hard one. You have an idealised version of what perhaps you should have done, but it's easy just to be. I'm here now. This is it.
So you see yourself being here until your final days?
Until I turn toes up.
I was going to say it's a bit morbid.
I don't think that far ahead. Before we sold our business, I thought I'd be there. I'd be leaving there horizontally, toes up, and then out of the blue we had a very good offer, and so we left that. So I don't know what's around the corner. If I did just carry on doing what I'm doing now, unfortunately we don't have a facilities for aged care in Taihape as such. There are services that help people stay in their houses, which is homes, which is very good. Our medical industry here tries very hard and generally ticks the boxes, but again, the whole area, that area right across the Western world seems to be a challenge. So as you get older, perhaps the health dictates what your future is, which may or may not be positive, but we'll just take one day at a time and appreciate that I can still walk around without a Zimmer frame. And
what about ambitions? Have you got any ambitions left in life, or a bucket list or anything like that?
That's a good question. Yeah, not to get rotten fruit thrown in the main street. That's my main ambition as I go down there with rate rises and always projects that don't agree with everybody's attitude. Yeah, no, I don't see that far goals. I've got a couple of car projects which I'd like to see done in the next few years, and or hopefully within a few years. And
So I imagine you and Dave Wilson have a bit to talk about in terms of
well,
cars.
Dave's he's a lot smarter than I am. He can sell his projects. Mine seem to depreciate and worth nothing. Whereas he seems to make money and move on. Whereas I need to learn from Dave. So yeah, but both of us appreciate cars. Yes, it's great. There's a bit of a car culture at council, which Paul from Bulls had the Sharon had the Chris Amon statue as part of one of his local projects. So he's a motorsport fan. So most of the guys seem to have a bit of knowledge about cars and appreciate things. Which is great. It's not a sort of car club as such, but it's one of the things, along with rugby and a few other things, farming, that everyone in this region has, because it's part of our blood, I suppose.
Yeah, and in terms of rugby, so if you're sitting in the grandstand here watching Taihape Utuku, what jersey are you wearing?
Yeah, well, my niece's partner, he's the coach for Taihape, and my little nephews, they wear Taihape colour, so I guess I align with them more so.
You were trying really hard there not to alienate any voters, weren't you?
Oh no, I have a lot of friends in Old Boys as well,
yeah.
and they tend to be more the farming ones, but and unfortunately Utuku doesn't have a premier team anymore. So things aren't quite. Just like we're lucky to have the teams that we do have. So we do support local rugby, not to the extent that I perhaps should do, but anyway, it's good that it's still being played here. The ground's looking in remarkable condition. That's not a plug for council, but it's a lovely asset we have, and on a day like today, really, what more could you ask for?
Absolutely, couldn't put a better.
Yeah, or a beer here, maybe beer. then we'll be fine.
We might be breaking some licensing issues if we did that, but
I know people in council.
Thanks very much, Jeff. Really appreciate it.
Good to talk to you, Ben. Thank you.